All right, we are live. So, welcome in anyone. Probably don't watch it on YouTube. If you're seeing this part, we're gonna start by introducing Jacob, who is a league mate of ours in our recent startup. In our league, the Break Room. He's joining our other like Andrew or RB Squishy. Also has been on this channel plenty of times. So you're his co-manager, and we're gonna do a little introduction, and then we're all gonna jump in and react. We have 14 trades
Cool.
submitted, so plenty to go over. And
Yeah,
I
and these 14 trades, they were submitted by various league mates of all the different leagues that you and I are in, Blake. So,
yeah,
I'm excited to dive into it. I'm just gonna share some links to drop them in the league chats, and but yeah, I'll let you chat with Jacob a bit and kind of find out more about him, and then we'll jump into it.
yeah, no, absolutely. And so Jacob, he seems like he knows what he's doing. It's hard to tell. We're only in the off season. We're some off season warriors right now.
Um,
Yeah, yeah, we gotta find a little more out about you. Other than the Mr. J Lamoff. So how long have you been playing Dynasty for?
Um, I think 3 years now. I started, started 3 years ago,
Okay,
but I feel like I only became sharp like 2 years ago.
okay,
But yeah, it's been fun. My first league was it was with my redraft group from my friends in college, and me and all of them are UCLA STEM majors, so they're all wicked smart. Like some of them make like crazy analytics model, like literally model,
yeah,
like they'll spend hours making models for the league just to
okay,
beat one of us one extra game. And so
yeah.
because of that, I had to actually go, oh, I actually have to dump way too much time into this, and then it became fun. So that's how it's been now.
Yeah, no, that sounds awesome. I remember, yeah, you've been bringing up, you're a big Shakir guy. We won't go all into that, but
I'm
you're
a big Shakir guy at ADP. He's
LDP. Okay, yeah,
I'm not I won't truth him to being a superstar or nothing.
yeah. No, he's a
What I
superstar
want
on
to
the
know
analytics
is
sheets.
did these fancy analytics model spit out some convincing data on Shakir? Do you have the you know
Oh,
you know
no, it's super basic. It's super basic. I just his per route splits
I was hoping you
Yeah,
had
are
the
pretty good.
ultimate proof that Blake was wrong about
yeah.
Shakir.
I mean, I do think he's wrong, but
Yeah, yeah.
I will see.
All
no,
right.
I unfortunately don't. My one friend was just a pure math major, and he actually, I don't know. I'm so confident he'll work at an NFL team one day.
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, he actually makes the models. But no, I just look at player profiler because I'm too cheap to buy PFF, and then I look at the per route splits,
yeah.
and if they're good and the player is undervalued, that's usually a good value, I think.
Yeah, no, I agree. I
Um,
look at a lot of player profile as well, especially if you want to see any
cool.
A dot and
Hmm.
it's just all everything. You have basically anything that you need. They're missing a couple stats, but
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
yeah, if you're not buying PFF, player profiler is
I
awesome.
might have to buy PFF though. Might be time.
Yeah, I think RB he mentioned something about getting I don't know if it was PFF or what has the all 22. Um, I don't know if that's separate or if PFF also provides that when you buy or not. But yeah, it would be interesting. Yeah, I guess anytime I want to especially already I was looking at some numbers as well and just I want to be able to do something with them, but it's just very hard to get your hands on
For sure. Yeah.
numbers easily. But that's very interesting, and we'll maybe we'll dive in, we get a chance, or we'll DM or something about some, I want to be convinced on some Shakir stuff. That's been my
For sure.
mostly a meme of I don't hate Shakir or anything. I just think he's just very I don't know mid pick. But
He might. I don't know. He might be. Who knows?
yeah, yeah. I mean, we're in the off season. That's the best part is we're
Yeah.
sitting here and we think we know everything. And then week two hits, week one, and you're like, "Fuck!" I know nothing. And then it's that's the best part about fantasy. But
For
so
sure. Yeah.
you said you've been playing for Dynasty for 3 years. How long you been playing actual fantasy for?
Oh, I mean, wow. Probably since I was like 8 or 9.
Oh man, okay.
Uh. Yeah, and I was such a little tryhard as a 9-year-old. It was
Yeah.
really funny. It was definitely a fixation. Like, like as a 9-year-old, I would be like, oh, like this guy in the 14th round is like insane value or
Yeah.
something. And my dad was like, why are you talking about this? And I was just
Yeah.
like, oh.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so it's been a while for sure.
Nice. How old are you now?
I'm 23.
23? Okay, awesome.
I graduated last year.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, so that's what I was trying to figure out is, yeah, how old are you? Like, I'm 25, and I think Dan, how old are you, Dan? 40?
I am 41.
41.
Cool, cool, cool.
Yeah,
Rude to
so.
ask, Mike. It's rude to
Come
ask,
on, man.
but
You know, we had to do it to you. But yeah, no, I mean, I think like fixation. I mean, Dan and I certainly have like a dynasty, fixation, and so I completely understand,
For
that.
sure, yeah. That's why I wanted to talk for
Yeah,
sure
yeah.
because I knew.
I thought of a perfect.
I'm in a million leagues too now. It's
That's
so
what
bad.
that's what my next question was. Is like, how many leagues are you in now?
Oh gosh. I think for Dynasty, I might be near 15.
Okay.
Might be at almost 15. Over 10 though. But I'm definitely gonna start a couple
Yeah.
after the NFL draft, so it'll go up.
That's a completely reasonable number. Like I think I don't know how much Andrew's in, and like Andrew, like like I'm sure Andrew's like RB. I just want to make that like
Yeah,
absolutely clear. Which will be another question about that, but yeah, like I'm in 12. Dan's in what 8 or 9.
Cool.
I'm in 10 right now.
10.
Yeah, it keeps growing.
It keeps growing. Yeah, I'm trying to keep like a cap. Like I would love to play in like so many leagues, but also like when you're kind of floating in those like teens, it's a nice sweet spot. You can get like you can like care about them a lot, but like not be just like I don't want any of my teams to be like I'm just leaving or like I've never left a league.
Sure.
I don't want to just like completely forget about teams and stuff like that. So like I think that's like a pretty good like spot is like sitting there. I know people that are like in 50 leagues. I mean, I'm sure
Wow.
you like because I've checked like Dynasty Daddy, like where you can like see their like portfolio and their how many leagues they're in and stuff. And like there's a dude that just like was in a league, like I just removed him from it, didn't make a transaction for like like 8 months, and he's in 53 leagues. It's like, why are you in 53 leagues and you haven't made a transaction since September? Like that's absolutely ridiculous.
That's actually crazy.
Yeah, so I always got beef with like people that are like they're in a lot but they're just not doing anything. It's absolutely it's so annoying. But yeah, so how do you? So you're co-managing with Andrew in the break room. How did you like run into Andrew?
So I was in the first Dynasty League and it was super fun. And someone in that league was trying to quit on their team because the league said they were gonna like add IDP and he didn't want to do it. So he gave me his team, and Andrew was in that league, and like within I was super bored and in class, and so I just started making trades immediately and started talking to him. And that's how I met him. And then since he invited me to one of his leagues he's managing. And then he's in another league I'm managing now, and so we'll just DM all the time about stuff.
I see. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, it was cool. And that league, the first league I met him through, like that league is so such a casual league. Like so that's part of the reason why like we have since joined other leagues because he was clearly sharp and I was like, this is a stupid league, and so we started other ones.
Yeah. That's I kind of is the same with Andrew for me. Like my first start, it wasn't my first league, it was my first startup that I did. Because actually the first league I ever joined, Dan, like that was an orphan, and Dan also took over the orphan. It's like that's how we know each other is through there. But yeah, Andrew, I ended up creating my own league. But we all joined those. Like I don't know if you like the BDGE leagues. Like, are you in any of those?
The what kind of league?
It's like BDGE, like the channel.
It's a YouTube channel, like Big Dogs Gotta Eat, BDGE.
I haven't heard of it.
Okay. They're like relatively big, and they are like really good for starting up leagues though, because it's just so simple and like you get just a bunch of people. Well, funny enough, there's got to be over 100 now. There was like 70 in the one summer, made, and so like I joined like 3 or 4 of them. And, like, Andrew was in, like, 2 of them, and there was some crossover with other guys, too. So, anyways, I ended up making my own league that off season. And like anytime there's a crossover, I talk to people like that. So I invited him there, and so like that's how like we like
cool.
know Andrew a little more. Off rip there. So like kind of similar thing there. Yeah. So I don't know.
By the way, in your one stream,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
guys were like, I think complimentary of our team. That was all me. Andrew didn't do a single
That's
thing
right.
at all. I'm just playing. No, it was very 50-50. But I don't
Yeah,
know, I just
how
thought
have you
I'd try
guys
to
like? Have you
roast him
guys
for a
been like
sec.
working well together? Like, how does it go? Because like I assume this is like your first time co-managing a team together. So like, how has
Yeah.
that been?
It's going well. I think every single conversation is Andrew's like, I like these 5 players, and then I'm like, I don't like any of them.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then
wow.
he writes lol, and then
Yeah.
I go, this guy, and then he goes, no, and then we just eventually reach one, and then it works out. I think I've agreed with him on basically every pick. Unfortunately, the only pick I actually disagreed with him on was when I was like still asleep in the morning because of the time difference, and he took Mike Gesicki. Ugh,
Okay.
Oh,
what a
I
thing
love
to
that
look up
pick.
to.
I love that pick. Why does
I'm
he?
out.
Come
I
on.
mean, he just isn't efficient and made all his production when T Higgins was hurt, and
Yeah.
A lot
But
of
see,
that
this is what
production
it
on
is,
one. A lot of that production on one play. Like, cause there was only a
yeah,
couple
really,
games.
yeah.
He only hit over 50% snaps on like like 3 or 4 games.
Mhm.
I'm with you on that. Like, I don't think he's a bad like guy to target. He was like 80 picks ahead of ADP. It was like a good tight end premium. But like I'm with you. So like Andrew, yeah, terrible pick, man. Who's in the chat
Nah,
by
it's
the
cool,
way? Say
Yeah.
He
Also,
ended
I
he
just
ended
want to
up
say
our
real quick, the
best bench
reason I
player.
actually kind of like that a little bit is that you know exactly when to start Gesicki.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
That's true,
you don't
yeah,
get
yeah,
those like goose eggs in your lineup. You just wait for Higgins to get hurt, which like, come on, you know that's going to happen sooner or later.
Yeah,
Then when he does, you know that Gesicki is just like a smash start. So like, I love
for
that
sure.
predictability of it. But yeah, in fairness, it's not someone you want to rely on as like your main tight end that you got to start every week. So I agree.
And
with
like, it's fine. It was like the 12th round or 11th. I don't remember what it was. It was super late. It doesn't even matter. And watch him like be awesome this year. Like, I don't know, nothing. So.
Yeah, well, actually, I don't think they will draft a tight end, but they are like literally sitting in red hot like tight end range.
They are.
I doubt they'll take one just simply because of how bad their defense is. But
Yeah, I don't think they will either. By the way, that's why Chase Brown stonks are up because they're probably not gonna draft an RB. So I would be buying.
Originally, I was
trying.
thinking, yeah, they'll draft a running back, but I've been kind of coming around that as far as like I don't know if I'm even actually truly buying because he's so expensive as far as like he's already like still worth first, but.
Oh really?
I mean, where he's going in the startup. Actually, one of the trades submitted. I don't think we used it. Basically, like, I saw 2 trades where like a first was just sent for him, or like a first plus essentially was sent for him. So.
Dang. Okay.
So like.
Yeah, I'm in many of my leagues. So like half of my leagues are like the same general group, and they're all super low on him. Like
Okay.
Like a month ago, I tried to sell him for like any mid-second rounder, and
Wow.
I couldn't get it.
Yeah.
But then they signed P. Ryan and extended Higgins, so I'm happy nobody bought. So I'm gonna hold
Holy
him now.
crap. Yeah, no, if I could get for like that price, holy crap, yeah, I'm 100% in. It's just like it seems like it's a first, but maybe I gotta test that out. That's one of the best things about like what we're gonna do with the videos is like, you gotta test some prices when you're seeing this. It might be like an anomaly, which is like one owner, or it could be something that we're not like realizing with certain players, like their price being way too high or way too low. Dan, how are we doing on those links? There, we good to?
We're all set. We're ready to roll. So
Awesome.
you guys want to jump into these trades?
Yeah, we're ready to go.
Yeah.
Shout out Andrew who's in the chat. That he is the tight end whisperer. And before we start, I want to say Andrew and I also started a team, or last year we did a startup, and it was a really easy. I think we did a really good job. It was basically like kind of what you had explained, like pretty easy. He was the tight end whisperer. We got some nice tight ends going. Very good room and there. It's the exact same format as the league that you joined, Break Room.
Okay, cool.
So and we got a first place finish in regular season. Unfortunately, little hurts, concussion, some other stuff later. We finished third. But
Oh man. Yeah, that was tough. That was.
Dude.
I had him in a couple leagues. That was tough.
Yeah, don't even get me started. I had him in 4 of my 6 active teams. And I had Connor in 5 of my 6 active teams in that week. So all those teams were staying together. It was a bad week for me. It's a very bad week. Yeah, so let's get started here.
Awesome. Yeah, let's do it. So we got 14 trades up here on the dock, and looks like this is our first one that we're going to start with here. So this trade was submitted by Tweezer024. Shout out to him. And the format of this league, it's a 12-team Superflex PPR 0.75 tight end premium. And Tweezer got Derrick Henry in the 111. He sent away the 106, Jordan Whittington, and Trey Tucker. So what do you guys think of this trade?
Yeah, I mean, with a lot of these, we can't see the team, so we got to assume he's trading for Henry. Like, he's obviously going in. Honestly, I'm interested to hear what Jacob has to say about these draft picks, if he's got an opinion formed. For me, pre-draft, like, especially in a higher premium, like, it feels like there's a 6 is like a tier break, but like it's not like that. But far after, I like pick 11 a lot, or any of those like later ones. But pre-draft, pre-landing spot, 6 feels like a really good pick. But you're getting Derrick Henry. It doesn't matter. We like Whittington, but he's worth nothing. Assuming like it's gonna be really hard to get running backs in certain leagues. Like we're in a league where Andrew's in. You cannot buy a running back. Everyone's competing. So like to get Derrick Henry, move back, and you might post-draft with all the landing spots. 6 and 11 might not be too far apart. I think that's a good deal.
Yeah, and I agree. Like Whittington and Trey Tucker really don't matter in the deal. So basically, it's the 106 for Derrick Henry and the 111. So, what are you thinking, Jacob? Like, are you happy to take Derrick Henry and move back 5 spots, or do you want that 106?
I think it's reasonable. It's like so I have no life at all. So I totally have opinions on the pick.
Awesome.
Because what else would I do with my time? But like if Derrick Henry continues to be Thor and just not ever fall off an age cliff ever, I think the Tweezer dude obviously won.
Yeah.
But like if he like, oh, this is the year like he's old Dalvin Cook, like lost by a lot. So I think a lot of it has to just do with his age and if he's gonna fall off or not. And you never know until like they play week 1, But I do agree. I think there's definitely a tier fall off after pick 5 or pick 7 or 6. I don't know exactly where it is yet. We got to see landing spot.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the 111 is like a tier worse for sure. So I think it all depends on Henry. But at the moment, I think the Tweezer dude won the trade for sure.
Okay, so
Henry's
Jacob,
just, like,
this is
probably
in your
fine.
inbox, and let's assume, for the sake of argument, that you could use a running back. Are you accepting this trade now, or would you rather hold that 106 until you're on the clock in the rookie draft and see if you can get an even better deal by then?
I guess it would depend on the vibe of the league. But if I'm like not, or if I'm not trying to be competitive, or if I have enough running backs already, like I might do this now and overpay a little just to get into the top 6.
Okay.
And so, it's, at least for me, it's tough to tell right now, but I think there's going to be 3 or 4 like legit like stud prospect running backs after the draft. Like I think 4 will go within the top like 45 picks.
Mm-hmm.
And any like mid, early second round and above running back is like the nuts for fantasy. It's like they almost don't ever bust. I mean, they totally do, but like that's like pretty good.
Yeah.
So
okay.
If I might have to see the team situation, but I might do that now. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So it's possible it could make sense for both sides depending on like where teams are at.
Good trade.
Yeah, we'll move on to the next
I
trade.
agree the receivers are completely irrelevant for sure.
Yeah, and one thing I just want to add before we go on, I was like, I think I completely understand the other guy's perspective as well, but we can't see the teams and stuff like that. But like, with the Henry thing, like, his price, I also think like he's honestly like one of the worst picks in startups, just like building.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's no way he should be going. I mean, I've seen him in like the 6th, the 7th is like not even any more reasonable.
Yeah,
and like he literally just came off a picture person. But like, this is how I get him though. It's like, who knows if I think the same thing. The 6th pick could be like literally an elite player, but 11 also could be very good. And it's the draft. Pick 11 might end up being better than pick 6 if we're saying they're actually making those picks. And you might get 1 more year out of Derrick Henry, which could be in the chips. So I think it's a fair deal for both sides. But if you need a running back, that's a great deal. So we'll move
Yeah.
on here.
I definitely agree. Also, shout out to the 8 people watching right now. Glad to have everyone here. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, I'm assuming a lot of them are probably clicked on the link that I spammed out like in like every one of my leagues. So appreciate you guys joining us here. Next trade here was submitted from Seabertag23. Yeah, he was in our NFL Madness league that just folded recently. But yeah, so this trade, the league is 10 teams, Superflex, PPR, and this is an inbox offer. So Seabertag has this offer in his inbox. He can hit accept or decline on it. So let's help him decide what to do with this. So Seabertag would receive Jalen McMillan, as well as the 204 and 404, and he would have to send away, looks like his own 2027 first, as well as the 410 this year. So what do you think, guys? Should Seabertag accept, decline, or counter this offer he's got in his inbox?
What do you think, Jacob?
Well, first, I think this is like not expensive for Jalen McMillan. And one reason I like Khalil Shakir so much is because he goes right behind Jalen McMillan, who sucks. So, like an early second for a first 2 years from now, and Jalen McMillan, is reasonable. I don't like Jalen McMillan at all. He averaged 4 targets, or I can't remember his points or targets. He was really, really horrible with Godwin. And then when Godwin left, he had 6 or 7 touchdowns in 4 games at the end. So I think I don't like him at his value at all. I'm also super against ever trading a first round pick 2 years from now, ever, because it's impossible to project how your team will be, even if you think it'll be good. If it's not, you're totally cooked. All for Jalen McMillan. So I would decline it for sure.
I mean, you're getting the 204 though. Can you kind of talk yourself into that's almost a first,
If you're I guess I can't see his team. If he's just the best team, then maybe there's an argument, but I don't think Jalen McMillan is anything.
Even if he has the best team, that he's not going to be able to start Jalen McMillan. So
yeah, I agree. And also, if that 27 first is the 110, Superflex drafts are pretty deep anyway. That's going to be a really good player. So I wouldn't do it for sure.
Yeah. This is actually a tough one, simply because we don't have a team context. It's a it's a 10 team. We don't even see how many starters it is actually. We'll assume 10. But this is literally one of those deals where that could be the 110, and Joe I know that Jalen McMillan with the Godwin, he feels like he's a little toast. But one thing we do severely underrate, and Dan and I have been on, is year 2 receivers make such a leap. That is the bet to make. And I'm not saying we don't know that Jalen McMillan was going to make that. It does seem pretty grim. The fact that Godwin extends, but you never know. And if there's another injuries and stuff, he can step in. But you get the 204 now. It's really hard to project as far as this is just not a trade I would do, but I could send this trade and get the first on my side, and I'd be very happy. But this is kind of one of those trades where it also feels like it could go completely wrong. You get what I'm catching here? You catch what I'm saying? The 204, obviously, we have to take it for the pick and not the player it's gonna be right now because we have no clue. But I don't know. That's basically, what is that? The 202 in 12-team leagues. So that could be still a really good player.
It might be just before that tier fall off. I feel like that's right on the border there. So I can see how Seabertag could tell himself a story that that's basically a late first, and I get kind of a free Jalen McMillan. Heck, even the 404 thrown in, or he moves up from the 410 to the 404. So I can see how this would be enticing. So I definitely think it's a crafty offer that the other man sent him. The other thing I'd be careful about is, especially with it being a 10-team league, I wouldn't be surprised if this was a start 7 or start 8 or something. This might be a crazy shallow league. And if that's the case, I'd probably just take the 27 first, because it's all about the upside, the studs in these shallow leagues. So that's probably the way I'd lean. But I do actually really like Jalen McMillan. And the one counterpoint I would say to Jacob, to what you were talking about with him, is that sounds a lot like the argument that people were making against Amon-Ra St. Brown his first year. He was really bad, like for the first half of the season, and then he just suddenly became productive because T.J. Hawkinson and DeAndre Swift were injured. So everyone like wrote him off, but actually it was that offseason right after his rookie season that I did my first dynasty startup ever. And I took St. Brown in like the third round, and it was actually third round of like a 16-team league. And man, was that a solid pick that increased in value? So I was very happy about that. So yeah, I'm kind of I kind of have a bias toward betting on those second year breakouts. And my philosophy is just like when a player produces, like I don't question it too much, because like we can come up with all these different excuses to say like, oh, well, why it's not sustainable, or it's an outlier, or this or that. But like I just have found in my experience that like if you just believe production for the most part when you see it, like it tends to be more legitimate than not.
Okay, real quick. So one thing I found the Upper Hand Fantasy post.
Okay.
Goat Instagram. With Chris Godwin, McMillan averaged 15 receiving yards per game and 4 PPR fantasy points per game. And for the Amon-Ra thing, like I actually agree. I think when you have like confirmed production, like you shouldn't really question it. But I disagree on what production is. Like I actually think like fantasy point scoring is like mostly irrelevant. Like for receivers, I really think like yards per out run and target per out run are the most like indicative of like how good you are as a player. And so like Amon-Ra, his rookie year, breakout year, he was literally top 10 in both, like in that stretch. And he was like the wide receiver 2 on the year. And I don't have it on me, but like on the year, McMillan was like not top 50 in either. And during that stretch, he like wasn't top 30 in either. There was some nerdy Twitter person I saw said that. So
I gotta play.
I don't think the extent of how well they played is that close. So
I gotta play mediator here, guys. But what I'll say is like, you're right. It's hard to comp the Amon-Ra stuff, but like at the same time, like McMillan's only a third round pick. He's playing behind Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. He was also dealing with injuries most of the season until the stretch where he got hot, because I think he had like a hammy like very early on, and was trying to play through it, and then he got re-injured. And those were his first career. He got hurt twice in that stretch, and one was right off the rip. So like, you're rookie, you're third round rookie, you're playing as 2 sick receivers. Like I wouldn't even like. I totally get like the numbers thing. Like I would just throw that out the window. So, like his first game, he almost scored 3 touchdowns. Like the stats won't tell you that. There was a PI and some. Actually, I think it might have been 2 PIs. So like he's kind of one of those cases where it's like I'm kind of in between both of you right now on him. Like he's a very hard receiver to figure out. And honestly, this trade's like very hard to figure out, because like I'd almost say like I could give him an argument for both sides now that I'm looking at it more, and like maybe see if this deal is on the clock, like when the 204 is on the clock, and you really like a player and you have a good team. That's the main point. Like if you have a very good team, I'm against trading first. I rarely ever do it, especially 2 years out. I've never done it. But it's a 10 team. I could see a scenario where like there's a good enough player post draft that you take a free McMillan, you feel like. So I don't know.
Yeah. And one other idea I'll throw out there: if you have the 204, and there is like a pretty decent player there, there's a chance you might be able to flip that 204 and let's say a 26 second into a 26 first, and then boom.
True.
Then you basically traded a 27 first for a 26 first and Jalen McMillan. So you moved up a year and got a free Jalen McMillan, and you moved up in the 4th round as well. So like, you there's definitely some scenarios where like, you could win this trade by accepting it. But it is a tricky one. I could see it both ways, but let's give Supertag a final answer.
That's what I was gonna say, yeah.
Accept, decline, or counter. I'll start with you, Blake.
I don't think I can accept it. Like, if I'm being honest, if that's me, I don't think I accept it right now. I would basically say like counter, try to get a better deal I feel comfortable with, even though I never feel comfortable sending 27 firsts away. I agree with Jacob, but maybe there's like another workaround that's not that pick. But I would, if I have to give him an answer, I'd say wait till you're on the 204s on the clock and see how you feel.
Well, the problem is Protect doesn't have the 204. He would only have it if he accepted.
That's what I mean. Wait till the 204 is on the clock, and then you can make the deal
I see. Okay.
if it still stands.
Yeah. Okay, I like that. What do you think, Jacob?
I would say the same. And I also think I don't think you should ever move your 27 first, like, unless it's crazy. But if you are in the mindset where like you'll trade it, like, I think you should try to get somebody like who will help you more this year. Like,
Yeah.
That's
I don't even know if McMillan projects as like a starter without an injury on the offense, so
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
I would.
that's fair.
Okay, you're just straight up declining, or
Yes.
maybe counter.
Or I would counter it like if he has like I don't who's like a random receiver. I can't even do it off the top of my head.
How
But
about wait, who's
I don't like
Khalil Shakir?
Tyreek Hill or something,
Oh, okay.
or I don't know. Like someone who will just help. Like
Yeah.
I don't.
What
I don't
if
think McMillan would be
Shakir?
good.
What if Shakir's McMillan?
I'm Shakir over McMillan.
No, but
Okay.
what if he is like Shakir in that deal instead of McMillan?
Oh,
What do you say?
I mean that's better.
Interesting
I don't
question.
know.
I like it.
Yeah.
I might then, but like the 27 first, like like
Yeah.
I just don't want to move that. Like
I agree. Like I don't think I've ever done it. I've moved
I've never
in
done it,
season.
yeah.
Yeah, it's not. It literally never works out. I've caught a few people on that, and it's like with some 101s, got some 102s this year. We'll say like either counter something that like you feel very comfortable with, or like decline / wait till the 204 is on the clock. I think we can just leave it at that. Like it's Dan. What, do you have anything to
Yeah.
add?
I would say counter. Get a little greedy here. See if
Yeah,
you can
get
get.
greedy.
Look at the other managers' roster.
Yeah.
Could you get someone kind of sneaky thrown into this? Could you get like a Jordan Mason thrown into this? I don't know, maybe even like a Jalen Wright, who I'm high on. So I'd get a little greedy, or maybe the other manager has a higher pick than the 204. Maybe he has like the 201 or the 112 or something like that. So I'd say get a little greedy here and counter and see if you can get a little better.
Yeah, we'll leave it at that. Like that is a tricky one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
All right. Our next trade, this was submitted from Clayton Crow. So this league is 12 teams, start 11, so a deeper league. And also, you have to start 4 wide receivers each week. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
Wow.
Also, it's only a 1 quarterback league. So that almost makes it like a start 12 if it was like super flex in a way, in terms of like all the non-QBs that you got to start.
Yeah.
And it's a PPR league.
Wow.
All right. Okay, so in this one, I believe Clayton was the one sending away the 102 and 407, and he got back the 109, 202, and 209. So basically, he moves back 7 spots from the 102 back to the 109, and basically gets the free, well, not free, but basically gets the 202 and 209. So what do you guys think? Which side of this do you want?
The fact that he made the deal again, like it's so hard because we don't have the teams. As far as like that can be a huge decision on certain trades. Like this is a deep league because it's like basically like a start 12 if it was super flex. Like I mean I maybe don't necessarily like love it, but because knowing it's deep and he's did the trade, like his team's probably in a little bit of trouble, and like this is one of those deals where if you make it, if this is the best thing you can get, like you kind of have to make the trade. So I think it's like not a smash by any means, but I don't hate it at all.
Yeah, because I think with how deep it is, like I mean, it's basically like we were saying, like a start 12. Like you really need a lot of like different like.
It is one QB though, so like I'm looking at the 202, like it's super flex, and like I don't like it's not though. So like
that's a good point. Yeah,
doesn't sound as good now. What do you think?
Yeah, that is a good point. So I don't know. This is kind of a tricky one. Kind of a unique league here. What do you think, Jacob?
That's a good trade. There's a lot of sharp. I guess these are sharp leads because these are like pretty good trade offers to consider.
Yeah.
I would rather have the 102. I think like I'm confident in calling it now, but Omarion Hampton will be the 102, and he's really good, and he's gonna be like a top 20 pick, and he'll just be like a workhorse.
Yeah.
Since it's one QB, I kind of think like the 109, or like you said, like the later picks are like a bit worse. I think you probably missed on like all the like obvious high upside guys already at 109. It's also not tight end premium, but for me, like there's 4 running backs, and then 4 receivers. I guess I could name them if you wanted. But and then you're at 9, so I kind of think like 9 might be like Tyler Warren maybe, but like it's a tight end and non-tight end piece. So
Oh
I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah, like
But
how
also it's
excited
start
are you?
11,
Yeah.
so the depth
Yeah.
is more
It's-
important. So I don't
yeah.
know. But I would
Yeah, so
rather
this
have
is a
the
weird one.
stud.
Like, so yeah,
Yeah.
maybe this is one where we just have to like trust that like Clayton Crone, obviously knows this league a lot better than we do. So if you feel like this was good, like probably trust like your own judgment over ours, because
Yeah.
this is definitely a league that a type of league format that we don't have a lot of experience in.
And
So
we just can't see the teams. Like that's the biggest part. I can't
Yeah.
because like it's splitting for 3 assets. It would be so much nicer if it was like a 1-7. I feel so much better if it was like that. 1-9 is pretty far to go back, but yeah, I mean I am with Jacob if it's like if his team's kind of just if he didn't need a split, like I'll keep the 102 and I could probably do something better with it, but I'd also just be happy making that pick. Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
I think I'm leaning toward keeping the 102, and maybe on the clock I get an even better offer than
Yeah.
this, and then maybe at that point I'm ready to like move back and like turn it into 3 picks. But yeah, at the same time, like it's possible that if I was in this league, maybe I would agree with Clayton. So I would say, trust your judgment for the most part, but just be mindful of when you trade that pick, because like I like to hold those rookie picks, as much as possible until I'm on the clock, because you just tend to get better offers then. So just something to keep in mind.
Yeah, I think we can. Anyone else got anything, Jacob?
I think that's it. Let's move on to the next one.
Okay. And by the way, if anyone's like watching and has an opinion on this trade, whether you agree or disagree, just feel free to put in the chat.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely check the
You might even be your
live chat.
Yeah,
Each trade here.
it might even be their trade if someone's watching and is watching.
Oh yeah, like if you're watching and your own trade comes up, like definitely feel free to chime in the live chat. Feel free to give us any additional context that we should know, or let us know what you think of our review or whatever. So we'd love to hear from you guys. Anyway, so next trade. This is from Bertu Genesis, and he received Amon-Ra St. Brown as well as the 210, and he sent away the 109, 110, and 112. And the league format is 12 teams, Superflex, PPR, tight end premium, though we're not sure exactly how much. But I thought this trade was super interesting because it
looks exactly like this is like
almost to the T, exactly like the trade that I just made in Grease Bowl, which is Jacob probably doesn't know about that, but in Grease Bowl I recently acquired St. Brown and the 207, so 3 picks better than the 210. But the picks I sent were a little better. I basically sent the 106, 108, and 112, I believe it was. So eerily similar. So what do you guys think? What side of this do you like?
Yeah, I mean,
sorry.
Sorry, I was gonna say it was to like I guess you're not in these leagues, but like to sum it up, basically like Dan sent a deal last year that was like 2 late firsts and Baker Mayfield for the 101, and like we were ripping into this guy in the chat for accepting it. But like that's the best part of a dynasty is the dude ran away with Baker Mayfield, Brian Thomas, and Bo Nix, won the league, and just like absolutely murdered Dan in the trade. And it's like it just completely 180. And like honestly, I didn't really like I wasn't thinking about that when I was like when you did that trade, Dan. But like when I'm looking at this, it looks. It's just giving me the vibes of that. It's like, man, like Superflex, 3 really good picks. We know Amon-Ra's amazing, but man, like you do a lot with those picks. And I know it's not last year's draft class, but I'm really liking stuff. So I think it's a fair deal. If I need up tier, I'm comfortable doing it. Again, it's one of those scenarios. Like these are very fair deals. I think we've been seeing. Like these are kind of hard to look through without the teams.
Here's the one thing I'll challenge you on with this trade in particular. The highest pick you're getting there is the 109. You're getting 3 picks between the 109 and 112. Like, I know those are still going to be like really good players, but like you're not even getting like one of those picks at like the 105, 106, where you're a little more excited. So like, you think this is like pretty much like dead even, fair trade, or what side would you pick? Don't forget, you're also getting the 210 kickback. This is a tight end premium. I bet you get a decent tight end there at the 210.
You could. I don't like. I don't know. I won't go into that, but I mean, this is one of those trades where I'm a little more cautious, like sending those, and I hate sending triple first and stuff like that. Like that's how you get destroyed. Even though thankfully you are getting Amon-Ra St. Brown. I don't know. Let's hear what Jacob has to say on this one.
I think if you're gonna sell St. Brown, like that's what you should get. Like that's
Yeah.
like getting three first is always a dub. I think I would prefer the Almond Raw side just because like I don't know, none of the three firsts hit the like elite tier. I think. Um, but like there's solid dudes there. Like I think like Loveland should make it, and then like Caleb Johnson's good, and
Yeah.
like Egbuka or Burden. But like you know these are like I don't know like these are like Zay Flowers Addison tier prospects. Like
Mm.
not even how they hit, just as prospects, and like
Yeah.
they're that's not like that good. Like I think so. I would prefer the Amon Ross side. Like you just get a
Yeah.
stud for
In
five
fact, I'm
years.
not even sure if they're that good as prospects, because this isn't considered a particularly good wide receiver class. And if you recall, when like Zay Flowers and Jordan Addison were going, I mean, they were going like fairly high in the first.
Yeah, they were like 6 to 8 or something, or 6 to 9
I think
or
even higher
whatever.
than that. I mean, I guess I'm thinking back to like my
It-
one quarterback league,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
like for what it's worth, I mean, we can kind of
It-
extrapolate it. I remember in my one quarterback league, I think I took Zay Flowers at like pretty early, like 203, 204, and like Madison went like one pick before that. So, add a few picks for super flex league, but like they were going, at least like mid round. So like I'm not even sure if the receivers you're getting in the late first are even going to be that good, honestly.
They were all you literally picked 7 to 9 and like in a row, like QJ, Flowers, and Addison, like every single league basically in any order. Yeah, no, I totally that's what I mean. Like I love Daniels, I love my like stud receivers, so like I can totally get on board with that. One thing I will say though, we used to mention like vibes of leagues, which I don't think I've ever like referred to something like Ben and I have like talked about that, but like if you are in a league that's like super active, like like the super underrated part about this trade for the picks is if you're in that active league, like we've kind of like I don't know, like coined this phrase, like it's like the Russian doll theory here,
Yeah,
and like if you're in a league like that and you have confidence to do it, like you can literally turn those three first, regardless of who's there, what's there. People are gonna want them. You can turn those into 326 first. You can get all the extra goodies for moving back into like a year. You can get all the extra kicks, like the thirds and the the second, whatever it is, and like now you're becoming like it's just like you create a monster of like assets on for one almond run 210. So that's like
sure.
any deal like this. Like I'm careful to say before I'm just like I want almond raw. Like when it's picks, it's really easy to deal them versus players. So I totally understand like the other guys' side of this, but it's a good price for almond raw, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a really savvy trader, I mean, there's a lot you could do with those three picks on the clock. So yeah, if you're a rebuilder, like I definitely don't mind taking those three late first. I mean, it doesn't feel amazing. I kind of feel like that 210 shouldn't be there. I feel like maybe
Agreed.
that should be more like a third, something like that, maybe a late third. I kind of feel like it should be like St. Brown just for like the three late first personally. But if you are a rebuilder and that's like the best deal you can get, and you really think you can do a lot with those picks on the clock, like trading and kind of Russian dolling it, so to speak, I'd be okay accepting it. But I think on the surface or in a vacuum, I think the St. Brown's side won slightly.
Yeah, and the one thing is like I see this all the time, and it's just like Dan and I have been kind of we try not to like let people get away too much of this, but like when you're sending away Amon Ra and like now you're throwing back to 210, like I'm gonna like fight for like I'm gonna get some fourths. I'm getting like like my favorite sleeper off his team. Like give me like all those like things, just like extra ways to win the deal, especially if you're rebuilding in this trade. Like I want as many ways to win this deal as possible.
Because another thing that was in my equivalent version of this trade is I got the 207 kickback, but then I had to give like two late mid to late fourths basically.
Yeah.
So I kind of thought that was sort of like a nice compromise where like everyone kind of won.
Yeah. So you guys were both Amon Ra. I'll agree like with Amon Ra. Just like I'm not gonna go into like the trading because we don't know. If I wanted to get a good player, like that's a pretty damn good trade, and you get the 210 back. So
we'll move on to the next trade. We got a comment in the live chat from Bertu Genesis.
Okay.
He said, "Good stuff, y'all. Got this offer randomly and just pulled the trigger, but I agree with you guys. It's very close either way."
Yeah, no, like these have been some good trades. Like, I think there's one in here that's like an absolute fleece that like I had got from someone. So like we'll see that eventually. But like, Mostly been pretty decent deals.
Yeah, for sure. So we'll move on to the next trade here. This one is from D. Hutchins from the Break Room. He had an amazing startup, by the way. We reviewed that recently. So in this one, we don't have the names attached to it, so we don't know which side of this D. Hutchins is on. So I guess that'll keep us like really objective here. So
we know he's the neighbor's side because it says accepted and it's like receives, and this is the top of the screenshot. So he'll be the neighbor's side.
Oh, that's right. Actually, no. Now that I think of it, he mentioned in the DM on Sleeper that he got neighbors in this.
Any of these will they accepted at the top. I made sure it'll be the team like that receives as
Yeah, all right. Way to spoil it, Blake. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, he basically said that he didn't love his wide receiver room, and so he just wanted to basically turn Gibbs into neighbors. But yeah, this is a 12-team start 10 super flex PPR tight end premium. We're not sure exactly how much, probably like 0.5.
This is a standard, 0.5 league. And I had a chance to look at this one, so like I'll give Jacob a moment to
let me just read it though. Okay. So yeah, D. Hutchins receives Malik Neighbors, Alvin Kamara, and a 26th third. And he sends away Jahmyr Gibbs, Mike Evans, and Jalen Warren.
Yeah, I had a chance to look over this one, and like just the way that I want to play Dynasty, like I'll take the neighbor side easily. It's not like absolutely. It's literally another very fair trade, but like I'll easily take that neighbor's side if I'm in that situation to accept it. I forget the math I was doing, but I'll easily take neighbors over Gibbs. Gibbs is amazing, and goes only a few picks later in startups, but I'll easily take the receiver as the tiebreaker, and just I'm getting a difference maker in Kamara. I don't care about the risk of the draft or anything. I like Warren, but basically what I did is I'll easily take Kamara over Evans. Not easily, but I will take him over him. I'll take neighbors easily over Gibbs. And then Warren is worth more than a third, but it's not enough to for me to care about the other two swaps I got, especially the neighbors one. So
yeah. So Blake, is that just basically favoring stud wide receiver over stud running back in Dynasty? Is it that simple, pretty much?
Pretty much, and then just Kamara's more consistent and all that stuff than Evans, and technically younger. None of that matters. I just prefer.
I don't know how many players are more consistent in fantasy than Mike Evans. He has 1,000 yards. How many straight seasons? Going to set the NFL record. So, but yeah, they're both really consistent.
Kamara's going to outproduce him, in my opinion. If you feel better about, if I had to flex one each week, it's easily Kamara.
Although the Saints could draft a running back, whereas it's hard to than any Bucs draft pick disrupting Evans.
They could, but I'm just gonna take Kamara. I was thinking it over when I was doing the little editing, and I was I'll take the neighbor side. But that's me. This is a very fair trade.
I'll
take the side.
I agree with the neighbor side. I think I disagree with the player takes. I think I'm confidently Evans over Kamara.
Okay.
Kamara had regression symptoms in the splits that you may or may not care about. And then I might be indifferent on Kamara and Warren. If the Steelers really don't draft anybody notable, Jalen Warren is top 10 in missed tackles per attempt and yards after contact per attempt. So he's really good. But even with all that, I think neighbors is obvious. I think it's a very, I agree too. It's a pretty market even trade, but the neighbor side is an obvious smash. He just had one of the best rookie receiver seasons ever, analytically, and he did it in maybe the worst situation we've ever seen a rookie receiver do it in. He had a Jamar Chase level rookie year, and he did it with Tommy DeVito, it was completely
was it Tim? No, Drew Lock, and all those guys.
It was horrible. So exactly. So he's just a stud, and then Gibbs is he's elite, but he's probably a sell high. He just came off an insane year, and Ben Johnson's got, and sell high. I'm not saying he's bad or anything. He's elite. He's the dynasty.
If you can get neighbors for him, you're selling your neighbor,
exactly. Yeah. But Ben Johnson's gone, and we see how crazy year to year situation coaching changes are for running backs. Breece Hall randomly was the dynasty RB1, and now I had to hold Andrew at gunpoint to get the 106 from him for Breece Hall in one league. So I would confidently take neighbors here for sure.
Okay, what do you think about this, Dan? Dan's a Lions fan.
Yeah.
Before we get this take.
Yeah. I mean, I love Gibbs. I mean, Gibbs is just like so phenomenal.
Yeah.
I don't know if we've
Yeah,
even
he's a
seen the
stud.
best. I don't know if we've seen the best of Gibbs yet, frankly. I mean, can you imagine if like David Montgomery's role starts to like, dwindle a little bit and they just start featuring Gibbs more and more, or, maybe Mountie gets injured again. He's only getting older at this point. I believe he's 27. I'm not sure when he turns 28. I love David Montgomery too. Don't get me wrong. I, acquired a couple shares of him this offseason in Dynasty, but like, man, Gibbs is just phenomenal. If I'm a contender and I could use like a stud running back, I don't know if, how much more Kamara is going to give me at this point. I mean, the cliff could be this year. I mean, like, I'm really not sure, especially with this running back class. So, like, I mean, I'm okay going into a season with like Kamara as a starter, but like, honestly, I don't feel amazing about it. So, if I'm a contender and I could use a running back, I'm going to take the Gibbs side in this because, Gibbs and Neighbors is kind of a wash to me. Sure, like if I'm really thinking of the long term and everything, like I'll take the receiver and stud young receiver and Neighbors. But like if you're truly contending now and you want to win, like yeah, like Neighbors was like had a great rookie season, but like he definitely fell off after those first handful of weeks, and that coincided with like them trading away Daniel Jones. Well, they still don't have a quarterback yet. Like we don't know if they're drafting one, even if they do, like which one are they going to draft? How good is that quarterback going to be? I mean, it's just not a great situation. So give me the stud on the Lions rather than the stud on the Giants. I mean, pretty easily there. And I'm not going to overreact to the Ben Johnson thing. I think too much is being made over that. It's just sort of like an easy thing to say, like, oh yeah, they lost Ben Johnson, so they're going to be worse. Like, well, how did that work out with the Buccaneers last year? I mean, like Cohen comes in there and he was like even better than what's his name that like went to Carolina. So like, you just like never know. I mean, like Lions might discover like the next great coordinator, or even if they don't, like I don't know if it's going to be that huge of a deal. And also, I prefer Evans and Warren over Kamara because like. I'll take Evans straight up over Kamara, and then I just get a free Jalen Warren to replace Kamara. So now I got like two startable running backs. I mean, I can at least throw Warren into the flex. I think Evans could be, good for another year or two at least. So yeah, I'm gonna take the Gibbs side. But if I am rebuilding, I'm okay taking the Neighbor side, and I'd probably just want the stud young wide receiver.
Yeah, I think the one thing about when you're saying Ben Johnson, I think more like I mean, I don't really have any like too much fear in that, but like. It's not just Ben Johnson. It's like literally the entire staff. Like down to the O-line coach, down to receiver coach. It's everything. Everyone's gone except for basically Dan Campbell and I don't know whatever. I'm sure you can nitpick the the left bench coach or whatever and the Water Boys, but yeah. So it'll be interesting. I'm very interested to see how that plays out. And one thing about Gibbs is like we kind of did just see what like not his complete peak is, but like. Monty was out for a huge stretch. So, like, we got to see that. We got to see that in his rookie year, too, when Monty was out. So, like, I don't think it was too much of a mystery. Like, I think he's already priced as if, like, the Monty fade comes in or the Monty injury, whatever. So, I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, we did see a monster game from Gibbs at the end of the season. And, I remember just kind of, like, thinking, I mean, I had more than one, honestly. Yeah, week 18, 46 fantasy points, and then in the playoff game, 35.
Yeah.
I mean, like...
He's good. He's...
Yeah, I mean, like, I feel
good.
like that could be a sign of things to come. So, like, yeah, I'm going to take the Gibbs side, but, yeah, I can understand it either way, depending on whether you're a contender or rebuilder.
One last thing I would add is also, like, I mean, I'm just, like, saying stuff for why Gibbs might be a sell high, like, and sell high, like, he's elite. Like, he is an absolute complete stud. But I guess my neighbor's logic is, he just did what he did in like literally the worst rookie situation I've ever seen a wide receiver ever have. Yeah. And so it could only get better. Like they could draft a quarterback, they could bust, and it would be better than Daniel Jones last year. But Gibbs just had like the GOAT OC and the GOAT offensive line and Jared Goff
GOAT
really
season.
well.
No,
and there are many ways it could get worse. And so, that's something to consider, I think, as well. Like, I think Neighbors has an extra gear of upside that Gibbs, maybe this is already, like, the best situation he might ever have for his, like, whole career.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, no, I'm on board with with the whole Neighbors Gibbs thing. But
yeah, we'll move on to the next trade. But we do have a comment from Randy Duncan. Shout out to him. He's in my King of the Hill league, and yeah, one of my favorite trade partners in there. He says take Gibbs' side in my opinion. So yeah, thanks for the comment.
You can't skip over Hawkeyes, aka Coop.
Oh, sorry.
He says he said he'll take the Neighbors one on that one. So yeah, we're split up. You know,
we'll gloss over that. We'll gloss over that. The chat agrees, right?
Yeah.
Right. So,
no, but I definitely get the appeal to those. Like these have been some pretty good deals.
Oh yeah.
Who was that that did that last one? It was.
Oh, the last one was
D Hutch, I think.
I forget. Oh yeah, was that Hutchins?
Yeah, D Hutchins. Yeah. So that's that's a good deal.
Yeah.
So
hey, thank you. By the way, if we haven't said it yet, thank you to everyone that submitted trades. Like I was so blown away by I kind of spammed out a bunch of messages to some of my just various league mates that I thought might be interested in this, and I was blown away. Like within an hour, I felt like I had 8 to 10 responses in my DM. So like that was so cool. So thank you to everyone that got back to me so quickly, and I really appreciate it and hope you guys are enjoying the stream here. So we will move on to the next trade. This one is from JP Beeston from Grease Bowl. So this league is 12 teams, start 10. And it's a 0.5 tight end premium.
It's a super flex. I forgot to add. It's just it's literally a standard tight end premium league.
Standard dynasty league. Okay. Yeah. PPR.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
It's all that. Yeah. So anyway, I shout out JP because I love JP. He's super easy guy to get a deal with, all that stuff. Plenty of deals done with him. But
absolutely.
Yeah, I had to look at this. Oh, sorry. Yeah, you read it out there.
Yeah. So this trade, JP Beeston received the 105, 205, and a 26 first, and he sent away the 102, DK Metcalf, and a 26 third.
Yeah.
So what are you guys thinking on this one? So basically, he gives up the 102, but he gets back the 105. So he moves back 3 spots at the top of the draft this year. But he gets the 205 and a future first. He just has to send away Metcalf and a third. Yeah. So what side do you guys like in this?
I took a look at this one before, and I like the 102 again. I think 105 is still an elite running back. Possibly in some leagues, depending on what you're taking Cam Ward and stuff is, I think he might be there. I'm not counting on that. It's just I think you get still a really good player. DK Metcalf is D Hutch has been trying to sell him, in break room. He's not an easy sell.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm almost too low on him, but I'll easily take a first for him, especially a random one. I love getting people's 26 and stuff.
Yeah, so you're taking the random pick first over DK, right?
I got the 205 this year. That's right in that range where you could still move up for kind of cheap, and you might be able to get a couple spots, get the kind of the end of that tier break. I just love this JP side personally.
Okay, so basically, it kind of feels like all you're getting to move back 3 spots there is you're getting the 205, which isn't nothing, and then you're getting the 26 first. But even if you're not high on DK Metcalf, he's worth close to that. So is that enough for you to move back 3 spots at the top of the draft?
I know people love the 102s. I'll be on my pre-draft thing with what I got to go off right now. I love that 105, and I'm not too torn up about moving 3 spots back.
You don't feel like you're losing much there.
You just get the 205 over the 26 third. I think that's bigger than it looks, especially what you can do with it. You can bring that back in the first round. I much prefer getting rid of DK Metcalf.
Yeah, you're basically winning the other 2 parts of the trade by moving back those 3 spots. So if you think the player's going to be similar, then it's a good deal.
And if it's just a truly random 26, dude, the amount of times Jacob was saying, people think they have a good team, and what they don't realize, they don't have depth. They get injuries, and then I try to pick off people's 101s like that.
That could be the hidden value in this trade. Maybe it looks late, a late first on the surface, but maybe JP Beeson sees some sneaky upside for it to be closer to a mid or even early first if things break right. So I can see the upside from that perspective. What do you think, Jacob?
I think the JP dude totally cooked. I think this is the biggest trade win that we've seen today, but all the trades have been even, so that's not saying a lot.
Okay,
But okay, so after Ginty, like Hampton is probably my 102, but like Travion Henderson could
Yeah.
randomly sneak into the first or early second, and he has receiving upside. So even if he goes like 30 picks later, he might still like be like consensus even by the time the draft comes. And then you have Tet and Golden, who are probably going top 20. They could get so like there might literally be no difference between the 105 and 102 on draft when people draft. And now to, by the way, I'm a huge Steelers fan. I'm
Okay.
disgusted by the DK Metcalf trade and contract we gave him. It's horrible.
It is a big
We gave
one.
him, we gave him 5 years, 150 for no reason.
Yeah.
But to shit on him more, like he was not top 50 last year in target rate or yards per out run. So like it really seems like he hit the age cliff, and my Bozo Steelers just gave him all the money ever, which sucks. Anyway, but also so like when receivers complement each other, right? Usually like you have a slot guy complementing a perimeter guy.
Right.
And so like DK, even though like JSN maybe ascended, like he was still doing his lane. So he like regressed in his lane. But now he's on Pittsburgh where Pickens does the exact same thing. So like they're really gonna clash. So I'm pretty low on DK. I might like barely prefer DK to like the 205. And then you just get a whole future first for like maybe a pick that's even when everybody drafts. So I think the JP dude won for sure. And I'm assuming the 26 one is late, but maybe it's not. I don't know. But like even if it's late, I think he won. But if it's like mid, like clear win, I think.
Yeah, so interesting. Like, so rather than comparing the first in DK, you compared the 205 in DK. So the way you're looking at it is you're getting a free, random first with upside in the future by moving back those 3 spots and maybe not even getting that much different of a player. So yeah, I think that's an interesting way of looking at it. I like that.
Yeah, I really like that. I really like that because like you look at the D Hutch, and I've seen other people put DK in the block. Like if they could have got a 26 first, they would have got it. So I actually do agree with that. Like what's the difference between like I like when you're like it's a 205 and it's like okay, if that was a 203, like I actually might agree with you about like the Metcalf thing. So it's like I don't know, like it's just like close enough that like I agree about that breakdown. I think that's a good way to like look at it, a good perspective.
Yeah. I think you guys may have convinced me on this that JP Beeson won this one. I think a lot could depend on like what does that team look like that's attached to that 26 first. My only hesitation would be like maybe doing this now, like maybe do I want to wait a little longer? But I can certainly see this temptation that like if this deal is in your inbox now and you feel a good deal, like you're probably just gonna hit accept on it. So I'll say JP Beeson won this one slightly, but I could see holding the 102 a little longer. You just never know how that 102 could gain value. Even though it doesn't seem much different from the 105 now, it could look a lot different after the NFL draft. That would be my only caveat.
You know what, thinking about it though, like I like that you brought up Henderson, like it just and all of his other players, like I actually think like especially in a deal like this where the 102 and 5 are both in it, like I think if you hold the 102, like you're taking like a significant risk of like people just realizing there's literally no difference at all on the pick. Whereas like especially as a pick 5, it was 6, like somehow that makes like a way bigger gap, but like it's literally pick 5, and I think like this is like a perfectly timed trade, and just like it is like a smash. The other thing, there's like what's the risk on like the 102 side, like what, like DK Metcalf randomly is like amazing again. He sucked the last 2 years.
It would be Travis Hunter like going to the Browns or Giants, and they're going to play him at wide receiver.
It's even better for the 105 though.
Yeah, it is.
That's even better for 105.
He ends up being a receiver. That's even better.
Because you don't have to risk taking Travis Hunter. Like I won't even get that. You could. I think he would be like obviously a top receiver pick, but like now your 105 is the 104. So it's your 102 would still be the 102 because you didn't get Genty.
Like you're not a Travis Hunter believer in terms of him playing receiver or buying that too much, but there are definitely people out there that like see him as like of course like the special talent.
If I knew he was playing receiver, absolutely, I agree. Like I probably would want to, but the difference is like you're not getting Genty with the 102 if that happens. Where if Hunter goes as like a receiver or whatever, boom, you literally have now the 104. So it's like just a free trade back like that. That's just. So even like more pro.
Are you saying like if Travis Hunter goes to the Browns and they say like he's a wide receiver, we're playing him full time there. Yeah. You're telling me that like you're not kicking yourself for trading away that 102?
No.
Why?
I mean he has like literally a chance. Here's the thing, like if he was gonna be like a full time receiver, Like, he wouldn't have went to the combine, declared as a corner, all that stuff. Like, I won't even get into that. But the other thing is, like,
all right, that's a whole other conversation.
there's no other player you can draft that just has a chance of, like, effectively dying and just, like, playing defense. Like, that's just not, like, a risk I want to take at 102. Just, I guess there's, like, small chance that, okay, he's drafted just a receiver. I don't think he's also going to go to the Browns. Did you not even get into that? Like, they're going to Abdul Carter, but...
Yeah. And then we got a few comments in the live chat about this trade. Randy Duncan says, I'm not big on this draft class, so honestly, I look at it as getting a 26 first and 205 for DK, which I would take. Interesting. And he also says, I don't see moving back 3 spots as a huge loss. So it sounds like he agrees with you guys. So, yeah, thank you for the comments, Randy. And then Hawkeye says, I can see JP making this deal if he's been trying to move Metcalf and couldn't find much for him. It's pretty even, and both players can make moves to make their side look better. Yeah, I can see. I think a lot of people putting DK Metcalf on the trade block probably aren't having a lot of luck getting that first, like we said. So, yeah, I can see this being kind of like a nice way of moving him.
Yeah.
One thing I would add, I don't know where the tier fall off will be. It might be like 202 even, or it might be like 208, but like there are a lot of good running backs this year. I might have like 6 or 7 prospects ahead of like what Jonathan Brooks was as a prospect going into last year. Like, they're insane. So like the 205 might literally be like an IRL 3rd-round running back who just like is going to be a starter by week 4. So like it might also be like that. Might also be awesome.
Yeah, and to move up, like I was saying, like what if it's the 203, like that tier after the draft can really start to, like that first round tier can really fall back, and like it can't cost you that much to just move up a couple slots. So you have like a pick in a really good range there.
Yeah.
So
it sounds like it's 3 for 3. JP Beeson, you got this one, so nice deal.
Yeah. So okay, here we go. We got Cooper, who's AKA Hawkeyes in here. Yeah. So hold on. This is, I gotta like break this down. You gotta let me do the breakdown because like. This is a really weird league. This is a best ball. It's a 12-team. It's a start 11 super flex, and it is a full point for first down. No PPR at all.
Oh wow.
No PPR. Bonuses if you get like 100 yards plus, but you need a 1 receiving yard to get the bonus or something. So it's like weird. A really confusing league. Wow. Just no PPR. Best ball.
And it's best ball.
And it's best ball. Okay. So
this is a really unique league.
Dan, I don't think you're in a best ball dynasty.
I am not. How about you, Jacob? Are you in any best ball leagues?
I'm not, but I will be a degenerate and join a lot this offseason for sure.
I love it. I need to get a best ball league too. So if you find a good one, let me know.
I am in one, so like I'll let you guys go first on this one, and then I'll like give you my take as like a being in the best ball league, even though it's not this exact one. It's a similar like.
Yeah, I mean just thinking about this out loud, I mean, it sounds like wide receivers probably don't matter a whole lot in this league because there's no PPR, and you get a 1 whole point for. Is it just a rushing first down or any first down?
Any first down. So Jimmy Chase can get it too, but.
Okay, so yeah, I shouldn't say receivers don't matter. That somehow in my head I was thinking like rushing, but I don't know. I'm assuming running backs, at least like a workhorse, would probably get more first downs than a receiver, I would imagine. So I still think that favors running back a bit, and then plus the no PPR. Would favor running backs a bit. So this is definitely a league where I think running backs would have more value. And then adding to that, it is a best ball. So Hawkeyes gets Bucky Irving and the 101. And he has to send away Jamar Chase. Yeah, I think I'm doing this. I mean, first of all, in a best ball, even though I don't necessarily play in one, I definitely consume a lot of YouTube content about, fantasy and dynasty. And from what I gather, it sounds like, you tend to favor the side that has multiple pieces, assuming, they're still pretty good pieces. 101, pretty good piece there. You get Ashton Genty, and, it's a running back in a league that favors running backs, and you get Bucky Irving. So basically you're getting like 2 stud running backs there. You have to give up Jamar Chase, who's getting no PPR. Yeah, I feel like I'm taking Hawkeye's side pretty easily here. Give me those 2 running backs and essentially Irving and Genty there with the 101.
How about you, Jacob?
Oh, sorry. Someone put a comment that was interesting.
Okay. Yeah, no worries.
Anyway, I think the running back side wins. I think pretty easily.
Yeah.
1 point for first down and no PPR. Like that's like, I mean, wow. Like all top running backs are better than all top receivers. I think.
Yeah. I have to imagine.
Yeah.
And it's best ball and it's start 11, so the depth matters infinitely more too. Yeah, like I
Yeah.
think it's a pretty
Is it start
pretty
11
easy
like?
win.
It is start 11. Yeah. It's. I mean, that's
Oh,
not even that deep for best ball.
Okay.
But yeah, like if
But
I
still,
may,
I feel like this is like pretty much like
dude,
pretty much a smash accept here. Like I don't know if Hawkeye
this
sent this or had this in his inbox, but
it's
like
done.
you
Yeah.
know,
No,
yeah.
it looks like he sent the off. The guy accepted. Like I play in a
Wow.
best ball league. Get a different scoring, but like if there's ever a format where like running backs could like equal a Jamar Chase, like a Genti can equal a Jamar Chase, it's this format. And not only that, like, dude, receivers in best ball, like seriously, the Khalil Shakirs like don't matter at all. Like genuinely, you can just go to the waiver wire, as long as it's not the deepest league in history. You can just go pick up like any receiver, like genuinely, like the Cokers or just like I don't know. I got better like examples, but like literally Westbrook and like MVS and stuff like that will be like outscoring. Like they'll be just as important. You have like rush spots. You just got Bucky Irving for free, basically. Is like what I'm looking at this. The 101 is like gotta be basically worth Chase, so it's just like an absolute no brainer.
Yeah, great call. That's what I was thinking. Is like in this format, like I think I would take the 101 at least like slightly over Chase. So you're winning that, and you get a free Bucky Irving. So yeah, this is a phenomenal deal.
And not only that, you get 2 running backs, and both the whole waiver wire thing. Like you can't pick up running backs on those waiver wires in best ball. So like just to say like how much of like a smash this trade is. This is like the biggest fleece so far.
I would agree with that. So I don't think there's probably too much else to say. So you want to move on to the next trade?
Yeah. Hawkeyes was just saying, because he's in here.
Oh yeah.
But the bonuses.
Yeah, here, I'll read his comments. So he says, basically, if a running back gets 100 rushing yards and one receiving yard, he gets 100 rush/receiving yard bonus and 100 rushing yard bonus, 4 points each. Okay. So yeah, those points could add up a bit.
Yeah, that's a crazy league.
He says, but it gives a safe floor. If a running back gets 65 rushing yards and 35 receiving yards, they get that extra 4 points. I now have Bijan, Genti, Gibbs, Kyron, Bucky, and Tracy. Mother of God. That is insane. And then he says 5 spots for running back to play, excluding quarterback. Okay, so we can start 5 running backs each week and a second, and 2 quarterbacks. So that is absolutely sick. I mean, like, I would not look forward to facing you in any matchups this year. And then he says, got third because my opponent got a BS Mayfield bonus in semis. Then a laughing emoji. And he says, I offered it because he has Burrow and I hoped it might work. Haha. Well, hey, great instinct there. Yeah. Like sometimes those stats can really be like the difference. So like, I love sending offers and kind of targeting, kind of enticing the other manager with a stack. So that was a great idea there.
Yeah. So that's the biggest fleece. Now here's one to compete with that. This is a league member in a couple leagues of mine. And I was just like, what am I looking at?
Yeah, and which of the handles is the guy who submitted it?
I think I just call him like Chill Will. I don't know if that's
82.
like what it is, but so he gets Brian Thomas for the 112 and 206, and like not only is this just like an absolute fleece, but the thing is like in the other manager's shoes, like I'm sure he drafted Brian Thomas if he did draft him or whoever did, like before the 112 last year, number 1, because this is just a standard dynasty league, whatever. And then he has like this all-time season, and then you get like only a 206, like assuming that he was drafted at 112 last year. Like it just makes no sense. So it's like
this is what was the other guy thinking? Like my God, like I mean that's unbelievable. Like I can't even believe this is a real.
The only thing I can think of is like the guy woke up like thinking he was getting the Brian Thomas side and like smashed it. Like that's
my God. Yeah, who knows? Maybe it is something like that, but like that is crazy. Anything you want to add on this, Jacob?
It's so disgusting.
Yeah.
I mean, this is one of those that if you see this trade go through in your league, like you're just like pissed off. Like, how the hell did that manager get? Why did I, send that guy?
I'm not even in the league, and I'm pissed off. That's
right.
crazy.
Exactly.
I would be the annoying person in the chat. Like, this is collusion. Like, this should be vetoed. Like, this is really bad.
I mean, it almost makes you think. I mean, it really is that lopsided. It's not like the last trade where it's like, okay, maybe the other manager was kind of thrown off by the uniqueness of the league format and scoring and everything. But like in this one, it's just a standard dynasty league, 12 teams, super flex, start 10, half tight end premium. I don't know what excuse you would have to only get this for Brian Thomas. So that's crazy.
Was there
Yeah.
discussion after the trade in the league, or was it so stunning everyone kept quiet?
No, it was actually cut off. So like what you're seeing is like the only part of of the thing.
Oh,
Like
wow.
unless Chill
Okay.
Will's in here, maybe he can leave a comment. I would love to like know the reaction.
Yeah, I would have been so
Yeah.
annoying about it. Like, this
Uh,
is
I
crazy.
have no doubt, Jacob.
I would have been very happy if I was, getting a beat on there. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
would be. I'd be telling you.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, just to talk about BTJ a bit, like he actually just had a rookie year like as good as Justin Jefferson's, like, and he has Trevor Lawrence. Like he's just like he might be at the end of this year like the wide receiver or like the wide receiver 2 in all of Dynasty. Like Jamar is Burrow, so it'll probably be him. But like this guy is him and Neighbors are like that level, I think.
Yeah, and you're seeing
So, yeah,
that
he's insane.
in the break room. He went ahead of Amon Ra, like Nico, stuff like
Yeah.
that.
And I think that was correct. Yeah.
yeah, right behind Puka. So he was the wide receiver 6, I think, taken off the board.
I would have him above Puka and CeeDee Lamb, I think.
Okay, interesting.
But yeah,
Yeah,
like,
that's interesting.
he's so
I
good.
remember kind of being faced with that decision as like, my pick was coming up multiple times because I kept like trading back in that startup draft in the break room. And yeah, my brother and I, who's my co-manager in the break room, yeah, we were discussing like, oh man, like, Brian Thomas or St. Brown. And like, even as Lions fans, like we were kind of torn and thinking like, kind of like, maybe St. Brown's safer, but like probably a little more upside with Brian Thomas. So, but yeah, I think that's a great take on Brian Thomas. And I would not be surprised if you're 100% correct about everything you said there.
Yeah. No, I agree. And by the way, one thing about this trade that I love, if like Chill Will is watches or is like in the stream, is like who sent this offer. Like that's what I'm most curious about because like there's no way I would ever like send the offer that's like the 112 and 206 for that. So
I
like
have to believe that like
did it show
Will
up?
just, like, woke up one morning and like, oh, this guy proposed
Like,
a trade to me, clicks on it, looks at it in disbelief, and like, breaks his finger hitting accept on.
Yeah, because like it's so rare. Like most of our leagues, people, regardless of like how much they play, or whatever, they're like generally they're pretty sharp and they know like what trades not to make. Like there's literally like one manager that like Dan and I would know that like accepted and sends trades like that, and it's just like it's like a lottery. It's like hitting the lotto when it happens. It's like 202 for Gus Edwards was like a real trade last year. There's no explaining it. Like I it must be like the same situation like that. That's all I can think of. Like
right. And Randy Duncan says in the live chat, yeah, veto that shit. Yeah, that is confusing low key. Yeah, I think it has to be brought up. I mean, when it's that sided and inexplicable, like the question has to be asked.
Yeah. The league mates fight for their teammate that got fleeced, and try to maybe get like the trade to still go through, but like you make him add some extra stuff. I don't know what's going on there. Yeah.
And then our next trade here is from Joey Bradley. Shout out to him. He's someone that we met through some of our recent streams, and maybe this would be a good time to announce it, Blake. But yeah, Joey had asked us in a recent stream, like, how do I join one of your leagues? And it got Blake and I to talking after the stream, and we decided we're going to start a listener league, basically just like a league for some of our most active people that are watching our streams and talking with us in the live chats and stuff. So yeah, we haven't like fully decided like how we're gonna like give out the spots and everything like that. So we still got like to figure that out. But yeah, we're planning on doing that like maybe in the next like month or two. So we thought that'd just be like a fun thing to do. So yeah, that's kind of the little announcement there. We thought that'd be fun. And also Joey just joined King of the Hill. That's the league that Randy Duncan is in. So we're excited to have him in there. But anyways, onto this trade. So this league is 12 teams, start 8. So this is definitely a shallower league than probably most of us are used to playing in. It is super flex. It's only a half PPR, but there is a 0.75 tight end premium. So basically, tight ends are going to get 1.25 PPR compared to everyone else is just going to get 0.5 PPR. Okay. And passing touchdowns are worth 6 points in this. So Joey got the 103 and Christian McCaffrey. He sent away Michael Penix, Xavier Worthy, and the 305. Oh, and the one interesting thing about this trade, too, is Joey said he was inspired by our advice in that live stream when we were talking about trading for Christian McCaffrey. So he said that he sent this out after the stream, and it got accepted. And he said it made his week. So what do we think of this, guys?
Yeah, I'll chime in quick because not only would we help him like on this one, but I remember he said he had like 4 quarterbacks, like Love and like Penix was maybe the 4th, and I think Murray. He had a bunch of quarterbacks, so we just told him like doesn't even matter which one you trade. And we were just like talking about like how he needed a running back really bad, and like the 103 is a good spot to get a running back, and McCaffrey is a really good potential buy, and so I mean I just literally this is like a just amazing trade for we have some team context, so like. I think it was a great deal.
Yeah. What do you think, Jacob?
I think it's reasonable. I think there's outs for both sides. I think the 103 side probably won. Like, the Niners are certainly acting like CMC is going to be their 3-down workhorse again. I don't know how well the German stem cells worked on his Achilles. I guess we'll see. But like. Penix and Worthy are pretty tough to evaluate. I think like where they're going in startups or wherever is like probably correct, but that's like an average value of like all their outcomes. Like Penix might randomly become, or like Penix might elevate to just being like the next like Stroud or whatever, or he'll suck. And like Worthy, like maybe is Jalen Waddle with Mahomes, or maybe he's just like a guy who got like a deep ball like twice in a row. So it's tough. I think if you have to sell a quarterback, though, it's definitely like a dub for sure. Like you're getting like an every week starter, and then the 103 who's going to be another every week starter probably.
Yeah. The only thing that I'll say for the other side is that if the other manager is a rebuilder, I do like the trade for them. Getting the young, promising quarterback in Penix, young, exciting, explosive wide receiver Xavier Worthy, and both those guys. Both those players going into their second year. So you get that second year breakout potential, which I'm always a sucker for. And you get the 305, chucked in there just for good measure. So, obviously, that manager's giving up the 103, but it's nice that they get, a pick back, even an early third. That might be a decent player. So I do like the side for the other manager if they're a rebuilder, but simultaneously, like I love this side for Joey as a contender. I'm assuming he's a contender. And especially knowing the context that he had 4 QBs, and obviously you can't start more than 2 of them each week. So like I definitely don't want to have much value tied up into more than 2 or 3 of them. So you're able to cash out on Penix. I don't like to give up Worthy because I'm a pretty big fan of him, but like Joey needed running backs, and he gets CMC and the 103 where he can get so he gets like a potential stud veteran running back as well as potential stud young running back. So I think this is truly a win-win for both sides, assuming contending and rebuild. But yeah, I'm definitely thinking this mostly from Joey's perspective, and from that perspective, I love the trade for your team. So great job on that, and glad we could help out with our advice. So I hope this works out for you.
That was a great trade.
One thing to add too. I think Penix as well is like a bit of a sell high at his market. Like in our startup, he was like very close to like Trevor Lawrence on like the initial big board or whatever.
Oh, okay.
And like Trevor Lawrence like is a franchise quarterback, and Penix played 3 games and 2 of them were bad, and one of them was against like the league's worst defense, Panthers. So I don't know, like he's definitely not a sure thing, I think.
So you mean like ADP, but like not the startup? Because they went because like Penix was the last one that fell out minus Bryce Young, who we get a whole conversation about that. But I'm not a big Bryce guy.
I did think that ended up being correct. Like Penix should be much further back than Trevor, I think.
Yeah, I agree with that. Penix, I'm having a tough time. Like I own a couple Penix, I'm very happy with it, but like. They're literally that tier of quarterbacks. I can't wait to see how they fall out because there's like like 8 to 10 of them, and like honestly, by week 5, it might not even be like the real result. It's just because whoever does better the first couple weeks is just gonna like start soaring, and it's very hard to decipher between those those quarterbacks.
Yeah, and we do have Joey Bradley in the chat here. He said Blake recommended I try to get McCaffrey for a second. I tried really hard to get a late first for Worthy. Okay, so it sounds like Joey's not too high on Worthy, just wanted to cash out for a late first. And then he said months, but I could not get any interest. Wow, that's crazy. I can't believe no one in your league was interested in paying a late first for Worthy. I would easily pay that.
I would pay that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, but yeah, that's interesting though. So yeah, you just never know, like with these micro markets and each individual league, you just never know how a certain player is going to be valued, or, maybe a whole league is just going to be out on a player that in other leagues would have, pretty big trade demand. So that is interesting. Oh, the one thing I just wanted to add to Joey, I do like getting Isaac Guerrero just in general, but especially if you're a CMC owner. Now, of course, the 49ers could draft a running back. Who knows? I mean, they could even draft a running back on the early side, maybe, potentially like in rounds like 2 or 3. It's not out of the realm of possibility. I'm not saying I expect them to necessarily, but, there would be some risk in terms of acquiring a guy like Isaac Guerrero, but I liked how he looked last season. I'm a believer. I think he's going to be the CMC handcuff. So, even if the Niners draft a running back, on like day 3 or something, like I wouldn't be that worried. So, there could be some risk in acquiring Guerrero now, but like personally, it's something I would at least look into. Like, see if I would like send out like maybe like an early 3rd for Guerrero, see if you get that done. Maybe you got to throw in like just sort of like a roster clogger player, like a Parker Washington or someone like that. But I would see if you could get a deal on Guerrero. I mean, if you could get Guerrero without sending a second, I think that's, easy move to make there. So yeah, maybe knock on the Guerrero owner's door there. But yeah, with CMC's injury history, I definitely would value having the 49ers handcuff.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, so that was a great trade.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll move on to the next trade. This is from Born Goat 26. So yeah, I've been playing in a league with him for a while. I call it the Crazy Tight End Premium League because tight ends get 6 PPR, which is just like bananas. So that's always been a super fun league to play in. So yeah. And Born Goat, like you should have seen his roster when I first joined that league. It was so ridiculous that like he basically was forced to toss his goated roster into a dispersal draft just to entice some new managers to come in and fill a couple orphans. But like basically had like in their prime like Travis Kelce, Mark Andrews, Evan Ingram, David Njoku, and then he drafts Sam Laporta. I mean, it was just there was no beating him. So like it was truly like one of the most like goated rosters that I've ever seen for the format. So yeah, shout out to Born Goat there. But anyway, so this league is a 12-team Superflex PPR, 0.75 tight end premium, and passing touchdowns are worth 4 points. So Born Goat got the 107 as well as 2 seconds in 2026, and he sent away the 105. So basically just had to move back 2 spots from 105 to 107, and he gets 2 seconds in 26. So what do you guys think?
I like this. I mean, I know I said like 5 and 6 could be a big difference, but like one thing that I also think is that post draft when we get landing spots, there might not be a huge difference at all between picks 5 and 7. Like so, it's kind of like hard to exactly know, but like you're getting 2 free seconds. I don't care about what the owners is. Like it's such an easy deal to make. Like I'm easily taking that side.
Yeah, what do you think, Jacob?
I agree. Like it's 2 spots and you're getting 2 second round picks. And so I have been agreeing on the top 6. And by the way, I'm expecting the top 6 to be Gene T. Hampton, Henderson, Ket, Golden, and Ward in some order. Okay. But like I'm not a Tyler Warren guy. I don't think he's good.
Okay.
But like this is 0.75 tight end T, and seems like he's gonna go top 15 because like I think there's still like a Bowers facade on like all the media right now. But like the 107 like might have a really good chance to be completely even to the 105.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if what's the worst case? Like you're on the clock with the 107, you want to move up to 105. Like there's no way you have to pay more than those 2 seconds. Like there's just like no chance. So, and one thing I guess I will say is like it is a 4-point passing TD, and like you didn't even mention Sanders like or anything like that. Like I'm not a big like I mean TBD, but like I'm not too eager to be drafting like a Sanders in the dark personally, especially like in the mid first.
Like.
Especially like, it's one thing like a late like and if, it's just there's so many like quarterback options. This is a 4-point passing touchdown, so you're just like not late enough with 107. Like if it was a 108, and then in a 9, like you could maybe in a normal league expect those quarterbacks to start going depending on their capital. But it's a 4-point. It's irrelevant though because he's at pick 7. It's just such an easy deal.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so with this trade, I would say that if I'm a rebuilder, I'm definitely taking Born Goat's side of this. If I don't have like a ton of value on my team, I'm taking Born Goat side. I think the scenario in which I would want the other side is if like I'm a strong contender and I have like tons of value on my roster. I might just like hold the 105 and just like see what happens there. Cause like the thing I'm always thinking about is that like when you're on the clock in the rookie draft, it's always harder to move up than it is to trade back, So I usually err on the side of like, get me further up in the draft. Let me see what happens. If, what falls there, if there's some tier, drop off that, like, I'm glad to have the, earlier pick. And then, cause like I'm not trading off and I'm picking this player unless I'm getting a king's ransom kind of thing. But you can always like trade back usually. So, yeah, but the only other thing I would say, if this is like a start 11 or more, then I'm probably just taking the Born Goat side because like probably just give me that extra value. I mean, like getting 2 extra seconds is for moving back 2 spots is really nice. So, some caveats there, but I would say in most scenarios, I like the Born Goat side of this.
Yeah, I say like there's literally like no risk of trading back right now because even like it is hard to trade up like later, but like what's the like what more are you gonna pay than 2 seconds to move up to?
Yeah, it's hard to imagine you have to pay much more than that. So I think this is a pretty safe trade to make even now.
Yeah, exactly. And if you wait till go on the clock at 105, like the risk is that no one wants to pay you even a second. So
I think you're right. 2 seconds is just like too hard to pass up in just about any scenario. So I think that's a really good deal. So nice job, Born Goat.
Yeah, so we gotta we'll keep this one easy. Bob 2682. I mean, this I don't like this. It's always a 14 team.
Yeah.
And then it's a super flex, shallow league, start 9. I'm like, I mean, hey, I've been a big Mac Jones guy. We actually just drafted him to handcuff Purdy in break room, but like we were just gonna draft him anyways. Not because I think he's an all-star quarterback, but just because like he fits the Darnold thing. He fits like the Darnold and the all these other quarterbacks. He's in round 19 and later. Like I just don't think there's a better candidate for that than the Mac Jones. So I mean, I like, dude, Josh Dobbs. That's like I've not even been rostered him. I love Josh Dobbs for fantasy, but he's a QB3 right now. So easy Mac Jones there.
Yeah. Also, I just want to shout out this trade was submitted by Bob2682. He is from the No Punt Intended League. And I've enjoyed talking with Bob. He seems like a really cool guy. In fact, we're probably going to have him on a future live stream sometime. But he had a really interesting comment that he sent to me when we were, DMing about this. He said that I've been quietly picking up Mac Jones in case things go sideways in the Purdy contract talks. If memory serves, it's the first time in a while they gave their veteran backup quarterback a multi-year offer. And rumor is Mac Jones is who Kyle Shanahan wanted instead of Trey Lance in that draft. So I thought that was a pretty interesting comment, like kind of looking deeper into that. And I think he makes some interesting points there. So I just recently acquired a Mac Jones share and feeling even better about it after Bob's comment there. So I like that thought. What do you guys think about that?
Makes sense. Yeah.
I can't.
I think Mac Jones easy dub. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't speak on the San Fran stuff. I mean, it can't hurt. It can't hurt to consider that. And like, Mac Jones, like he's literally free in leagues. And what's funny actually is I checked when he went to San Fran. I mean, I love the landing spot. Although I thought he could have maybe like snuck into one of those like weird like bridge spots, such as Darnold. But I have like 3 Purdy shares that we drafted the third one and handcuffed him like knowingly. But my other 2 shares, like I just so happen to have Mac Jones on those rosters, so like I
love that.
I lucked into that, so it's pretty happy.
I wish my Steelers added in. We have Mason Rudolph right now. That's our
the cool thing too is that like you only had to give up Josh Dobbs, who like is he even a backup quarterback? Like they have Milton there too, so like you don't even know if he's the true handcuff. So if you can get a Mac Jones type without even sending away a pick, but just send some other random QB or roster clogger, like that's the way to do it. So great deal, Bob. Thanks for submitting that.
But go buy Mac Jones.
Yeah, for sure. So our next trade, this one was submitted by Jake Gladden. So he is from the NFL Madness League that recently folded. So thanks for submitting this trade. It's a 12-team, starts 7. So very shallow league, and it's only 1 quarterback, and it's only a half PPR. So Jake Gladden got the 101 and a 26 first. He sent away Puka Nacua, a 27-second, and he had to throw in Kamani Vidal. So, I mean, basically, yeah, we can eliminate Vidal from this. Doesn't really matter. So basically, which do you want in this shallow format? Do you want Puka Nacua, or do you want the 101 and a 26 first? Keep in mind half PPR, so that might favor running backs a bit, and also just the start 7 is going to favor studs. So, What do you guys think here?
I think it's reasonably even. I'd probably prefer the 101 side because you get the future first. In a half PPR, my perception is Puka and GT should probably be like sort of in the same tier, I think.
Yeah.
And also like all the I think stupid Puka haters, they are kind of right. Like Stafford is old. Like it might be like a lot worse in 2 years or something, but I don't know. Like I think it's pretty reasonable for either side. Like if the guy getting Puka really needed a receiver and had tons of running backs, like this is kind of a smash, I think. But I would prefer the pick side, I think.
Yeah, because I don't know. I feel like though, 101 and Puka in this format would be like pretty much dead even. So
yeah,
like it seems like you're just getting like a 26 first for sending away a second and Vidal. So what do you think, Blake?
Yeah, exactly. I love Puka, but like in this format, they're probably dead even. And like honestly, I know there's a second in there, but it's like 2027. Jake Gladden, I know he's a sharp guy. Like honestly, he probably made this deal especially because he probably thinks it's a good 26 first, and like I'll just easily take the 101 in the first side. Like it's without even questioning it. Another thing too, by the way, in like these leagues, like and I didn't mention this in the Kamara versus like Evans because there's running backs, but like one thing I love is just like it's just so much easier in general to like replace like the receiver position than it is the running back. Now I know this is like a whole draft class thing, but like there are so many good receivers, like freaking Juwan Jennings and these like flexible like random guys that are just like they cost you pennies. Where like if there was a running back producing like that, like people just don't want to part with them because they're just they're just so hard to maintain. Whereas receivers, there can be like 60, 50 good ones like at a time, like on a given week that like you feel good starting. So like that's just more reason to love this deal is why you're getting rid of the receiver and it's such a shallow.
Shout out to Jake Gladden's team in NFL Madness. I definitely think he was on his way to building a pretty loaded squad there before the league folded. But I can definitely tell he's a savvy dynasty manager. And but yeah, shame he didn't get to see that through because he was definitely on his way to building a real squad in there. So yeah, it's a bummer what happened to that league. But we'll move on to the next trade here.
Yeah, and by the way, Randy says. So Randy thinks Mac Jones waiver wire pickup, but he says good point. That who was the man, Bob might be a genius about the whole like Purdy thing. And that.
Oh yeah, he says Randy says, wait, that might be genius actually. Imagine he is right. Yeah, I love that. So good thoughts by Bob there. And so next trade here. This one was from I don't know if those are I's or L's to start. I'm assuming I's, but we'll just call them Tenacious G basically. This is a 12-team Superflex tiered PPR. So I've never been in one of these, but basically running backs get 0.5 PPR, receivers get 1 PPR, and tight ends get 1.5 PPR. It's pretty much like a typical dynasty league. Only the running backs only get half a point per reception. So
there's no running back in the deal, so it's even easier.
Fair enough. But although the picks could come. Thinking of like getting running backs, especially in this class. But in any case, let's see. I can't remember. I don't think you specified which side is him. So I guess we'll just have to be completely objective here. But side 1 received Justin Jefferson, Courtland Sutton, and Gardner Minshew thrown in there, and they sent away Brandon Ayuk, the 107, the 211, and a first and 26. So to clean this up, we can eliminate Minshew. I mean, even Sutton isn't that big a deal. I mean, it's basically Justin Jefferson for the 107, a 26 first, and Brandon Ayuk, let's say. And, you get the late second thrown in. So what do you think? Is this enough for Justin Jefferson? Like, which side do you guys want here?
Like, I mean, that was a good way that you broke it down. I'm actually willing to challenge a little bit because I said, like, the wide receiver replaceability. And, like, I don't hate Ayuk, but, like, Courtland Sutton did pretty good, and I'm not even going to speculate about draft and stuff like that. Like honestly, like war wise, Sutton and Ayuk are probably the exact same. Obviously Sutton was far better last year, so
I
I'm
was
just
thinking
gonna.
more like Sutton in the 211. You kind of
It-
call a walk.
You're correct about that for the value wise, but I'm just looking at like
Yeah, war.
value slash like war difference making. Obviously Jefferson would be like a king, but like
Yeah.
if you just look at it and you just entertain the fact that like Sutton and Ayuk are not in their like they're not 24 years old or three. They're both like past 27, so it doesn't really like I don't care too much. Just like whoever's scoring. So it's like if you look at it that way, the 107, 211, and a first, like it's so easily Jefferson.
That's an interesting way. That's an interesting way.
Even
to
though
look at
Ayuk
it.
is more valuable, 100% agree with that. It's just so much easier to look at that like that.
Because you would
in
need
Jefferson.
to value Ayuk at a first to even like tell yourself a story that this was like enough for Jefferson.
I don't even think you can get that for Ayuk right now. And I don't. I'm not saying that I disagree with or I agree with that or whatever, but I think it's very clearly Jefferson.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think, Jacob? Are we missing anything here, or is this
I
just a
agree.
smash for the Jefferson side?
I think it is, yeah. Like the Jetta side wins. I think the 211 Sutton is probably even. Sutton was good last year too. Like he closed as like a wide receiver one, I think. But like if Ayuk randomly like just is fine and is literally exactly how he was 2 years ago, that side probably wins. Like
Yeah.
he was pretty good, but I kind of think he's cooked. Like his knee injury was really bad. Like I think I would prefer any late first to him at the moment.
Yeah, I tend to agree. The problem is like he's coming off the torn ACL, so he's not going to be like quite 100% probably the whole year. Maybe at the end of it, you start to get like the old Brandon Ayuk, but even that he like kind of disappointed last season. And then by the time it's like 2026 and he is fully healthy, well, how old is he by then? Like 28, like so.
Yeah, and then he's Sutton's age, so like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it
so
was ACL,
Tanisha,
MCL too.
I hope you had
MCL.
I hope you got Justin Jefferson in this deal. So yeah, but if you did, great trade.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. I think we can agree that's an easy Jefferson side. Yeah, Tenacious, another sharp owner there.
Yeah, no comments in the live chat here. So yeah, next trade. This one is from Mad Chaos. Yeah, shout out to him and Blood, Sweat, and Tears. So this is a 12-team start 11 super flex PPR 0.75 tight end premium. So yeah, a little bit of a deeper league with the start 11, and then a little deeper or a little greater tight end premium than typical league. But yeah, so we don't know which side is which here, but one side got Sam Laporta and Tajay Spears, and they sent away the 104 and Kate Otten. So yeah, I definitely think the tight end premium, the 0.75 tight end premium is going to come into play a bit here. Which side do you guys like here?
I don't know.
It's a tricky one. Yeah. I was kind of like not sure quite what to think when I first looked at this one as well. I mean, I think you really got to like Sam Laporta to send away the 104 and Otten, because I mean you could tell yourself a story that like in the short term, like could Otten like at least give you like 80% of what like Sam Laporta's projected to give you?
I don't know.
70%. I mean, you can tell yourself a story. But you are getting the 104, and you just have to give away Spears. So which side are you leaning here?
Here's what I'll say is like I think value wise, I can absolutely see the Laporta side, and I don't want to like discredit Spears because I don't think they're drafting running back at all. It's very very unlikely. They don't even have like a third. They don't even have a pick past like pick 34, I think it is, until like I don't know, like the 4th, 5th round. So there's just like no way they bring a running back in. But like the way that I've been kind of trying to build my teams now. Like, I would just prefer the 104, and I'll figure out tight end with just, like, a cheaper option, or, like, the Ingrams, or Jonnu, that's your guy, and just guys like that. Like, I'll figure it out, even though it's, like, it's a 0.75 premium.
I think if it was 2 PPR for tight ends, I think you could kind of, talk me into just give me, like, the young stud Laporta, and who, of course, I love, especially as a Lions fan. Like, he's awesome, and I do think he could have, like, a better season than he did if you looking at the totality of last season, where he was just kind of like pretty meh for a lot of the season, and then it kind of got hot at the end. So I do think that we potentially haven't seen the best of Laporta, but I don't know if it's like we're going to immediately see the best of him, this season, his third season, like, it might take a little longer than that. And I do think that like Jameson Williams' emergence is like maybe a slight thorn in the side of Sam Laporta. And I think that partially explains why he disappointed it a little bit in year 2. And I'm not sure that's going to totally change in year 3. I don't know why it would. So, yeah, I think I'll take the 104 and Otten.
I agree. Yeah. I think I might prefer Laporta if like I have a loaded starting lineup. Like my only hole is at tight end, and I'm like,
Right.
okay, like,
Right.
but like I think it's pretty even. The 104 probably has more upside though. Like the 104, like that might be like the dynasty RB1 for the next 5 years. Who knows?
Yeah.
And Otten is probably better than Spears. Or Otten's better than Spears. Neither's good though. I think Otten's like a mid. Just he's a starter and nothing more.
The only
And so
problem
he'll
with
be
Otten is I
dependent.
think you can make the same like anti argument that you made against McMillan, is that like if Godwin and Evans are
Yeah,
healthy,
for sure.
like you're not feeling good starting Otten. So like I think you
Yeah.
could argue the Spear side. Well, I'll call it a
I'll
wash.
easily take Spears, and I'm not even like a massive. It's just like literally look at his last 3 games. Like I'm just saying, like if he gets an opportunity, that was like not even with him getting an opportunity. He was just extremely efficient. Like he's an explosive player, so I'll easily take Spears there.
The thing about
Okay.
Otten though is if you do get an injury to one of like Godwin or Evans, then I guess at that point it'd be a question of like who's the main beneficiary? Is it McMillan or Otten? But we did see last year before the McMillan breakout that like Otten just had this like crazy hot stretch where he was like dominating targets. Like, if you had him in any kind of tight end premium league during that stretch, like you were loving life. It was just like found money.
Yeah.
So
And by
I
the
don't
way,
want to
like
completely discredit Otten, but yeah, I'd call it a wash, on the Spears versus Otten. So I really think it comes down to,
sure.
Laporta versus the 104. So yeah, I don't think it's like a bad deal either side, but I think I'd lean the 104 side, at least slightly.
And I think your Jameson Williams analysis was correct. Like that is what happened for sure.
Yeah.
Like they were overinflating the middle field routes to Amon-Ra and Laporta because they had like just no X, and then like JMO was like competent or pretty good. So.
Oh, he was very good. I mean, like,
yeah.
As a Lions fan that watched every, game last season, like, JMO looked awesome. I mean, he was just a completely different player, certainly compared to his first year, but even to his second, there was just that progression you saw. And,
sure.
I mean, I got a lot of Jameson Williams at this point, so I'm a believer. So I still think, better days are ahead for Laporta, but I just don't know if it's going to be like this year where he's like top 3 tight end. I mean, he'll probably be close, but like I don't know if he's going to be at least like a more difference maker, let's say, this season.
Yeah, and Cooper says in the chat, it's hard, 0.75 premium, so probably Laporta, but yeah, close as heck. And one thing I will say is like I completely understand taking Laporta. I'm not even sure. Again, I agree with what you said. If your only hole's tight end, like I could easily see just accepting this side. But you mentioned the 104. Like again, I love what's going to be there, the 104, regardless of how it plays out. But here's the other big thing: like if you own Laporta, like I'm sorry, he's not an easy sell right now. And I don't even think he's bad. I think. Again, we probably haven't seen his best. He'd easily be the tight end one for me, like compared to this class. But like that 104, I mean, as long as you're in a league that has like somewhat tiny bit of activity, you can do so much more of that than Laporta. And everyone, I don't know if you guys noticed this, if you're trying to sell a tight end, whether it's Laporta, whoever it is, if you just go look at any roster, everyone has a tight end. Like they at least have like a Hunter Henry or something where they can like get away with it,
Yeah, and I feel like you really don't see Laporta getting moved too much these days because I feel like the owners are kind of clinging to the old value of what Laporta was, and so they don't want to move off of that old value. But like no one out there that might be trading for him, like they don't want to pay that old value for Laporta. So I feel like you really don't see him get moved very much. So I do think this is interesting just to see a Laporta deal get done.
Yeah, what do we think here? I'm out on the Laporta side. I will say though, like last thing, like I do think it's a very fair deal when I'm looking at everything, but I'm still like it's just 104. It's 104.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? Like, what do we?
I think it's basically fair, but I'll lean the 104 side.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Okay.
Yeah. I think we can move on to the next trade.
Awesome. So then we got. Oh, this is the choice.
Oh, is that the first one? So, wait, did we get through?
I think sorry, I was like having an issue coming up here, so I think we got through all of them.
Yeah. Oh, awesome! Wow.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know quite how long it's been. It
felt like a long time, but I was good. Like I felt like it was some really good your perspective and like Jacob. I was loving the stats and kind of like your perspective because like sometimes like I want to think like that and sometimes I do for certain players, but I also like I don't know. There's like what would I put it? There's like the very like player analytic side, and then there's like the dynasty theory side where it's like it doesn't even actually matter how good they are. Like I don't know, you can just like toy around with the value and all that stuff. Sure. So it was a good mix, I thought.
Yeah, a lot of fun. Thanks for talking for sure. Oh, and one
Yeah,
thing
thanks.
real quick. The reason I'm so into the splits is just because like I am not a football professional. Like if I were like a high level scout or something, I might have a method that has a higher correlation to success than looking at stats. But like I don't know when I watch football who actually looks good or not good. Like a number is a lot easier to like just lean on.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously, there's things that affect the number, like a number of things that can affect the numbers, like injuries
For
and
sure.
play around them and stuff like that. That's what makes it so difficult. And what even more difficult is like you're probably looking at all the rookies right now, and good luck trying to figure out the analytics when you got guys with like absolute bum quarterbacks throwing to them,
Yeah, for
and then
sure.
their
Yeah.
scheme is just like pound the rock or whatever it is. And it's a receiver, so there's like a lot of nuance as far as these rookies and how to look. And I'm assuming you know who JJ Zacharyson is, or listen to him if you're a numbers guy. Is that
Uh, Honestly, no.
okay?
I don't. I'm trying to get into it more. I'm not on social media a ton, and
Okay.
I just nerd out by myself, like a little bit high, and just look at numbers. So I don't really. I don't. I'm not actually like
Okay.
influenced a lot.
Actually, that's kind of cool because then you don't get like, your
Yeah.
judgment clouded by like everyone else's opinion. You're just like
Yeah.
Yeah.
doing your own thing and like coming up with your own opinion. So I think that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, like dude, I'm on Twitter, like it's like an echo chamber, and I like when you like read something, even though you don't believe it, like I almost have to like remind myself, like I didn't say that. Like that is just a random person on Twitter saying that, and like by just reading something in your mind, it can like almost like just influence this idea that's
For
not
sure.
true. So yeah, it is very interesting. I would recommend like JJ Zacharysen's like no
Okay.
film, but like he won't like completely discredit what people's opinions are. He's just a
Cool.
straight numbers, straight stats guy. Yeah, I've been listening to him basically since playing Dynasty, and there's a lot of good stuff. And Laporta and like Reed and stuff like that, and Puka were like guys that you obviously identified. So definitely recommend anyone checking out JJ
Cool.
Zacharyson.
Yeah, but hey, Jacob, thank you so much for joining us. Great job breaking down the trades. Really appreciate the perspective you brought to that.
Oh.
So yeah, definitely join us on another live stream sometime. And I'm looking forward to some good battles against you and Andrew in the break room there. So you guys
Yeah, for
drafted
sure.
a solid squad.
Yeah.
I feel like all of us, each of our three teams, like we all loaded up on tight end pretty good. So I think there'll be some fun tight end battles in there with the 2 PPR. And
Hold on. Hold on. We might need, if you got time, Jacob.
Yeah,
Randy
I do.
Duncan. Like I was worried that this might happen, that we might have missed one trade somehow. I definitely have his deal.
Okay.
I just like I can't. Maybe I didn't download it or
I'm
something.
I'm so glad you caught that because I would feel really bad if we left his trade out of the mix because
Hold on.
we definitely plan on having it in there. So
Yeah, hold on here.
yeah.
Let me see here.
By the way, so yeah, while you look for that, I'll just ask Jacob because I believe you were one of the ones that agreed with me about Monopoly over Yahtzee, right? So do you
Yeah.
care to
no.
comment on that at all? I mean, is there anything we even need to say? I mean, like, it's kind of a no-brainer, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the most fun thing about fantasy football is the trades, and Monopoly is all that. Like that's the whole game
Okay.
is figuring out how to finesse in the trade. So that's why it's like that's definitely like maybe it's like top 5 board games for me, but clears Yahtzee, I think for sure. Like
Man, but when you're a champ at Yahtzee, I can't let that go. I was a natural born Yahtzee player, so what can I say?
maybe I gotta play it
you know?
again. It has been a while. 'Cause I don't know,
Yeah,
but maybe I gotta play it again.
When you're good at something, when you're good at rolling the die, how can how could that not be my favorite? None of that
Fair
skill
enough.
stuff. None of that
Well, Jacob,
negotiating.
do you have any like strategy tips for Monopoly? Because like I think the key is, although I don't know how you really plan for this, but I always seem to get lucky with it. You got to control the railroads. Like I always say, you control the railroads, you control the board.
Totally agree. That's big. I don't know. I mean, I guess it depends what version you play. Like some people play where if a property landed on, like it goes to a bidding with everyone versus just
okay.
that guy gets to buy it. So
Oh,
I don't.
okay.
It depends. But for like the normal version, I definitely think the meta is to have like a cheaper Monopoly that funds your bigger like executing Monopoly.
Ooh, interesting. Okay.
Okay.
we're not talking about Boardwalk and Park Place. We're talking about I forget what like the first ones are,
like
but
the Vermont and like
Yeah.
green, whatever the green ones. But those orange ones,
Yeah.
dude. Those orange ones. I think that's the second. No. I don't know. It's on that corner. It's on the first corner. Like those orange ones. I swear, that's an auto win if you get those. Like it feels like.
oh yeah,
For
was
sure.
it wait, orange? Isn't that like Tennessee? I feel like it was, or I don't know. Maybe I'm just thinking of the college, but I don't know.
No, I forget what it is. Like New York Ave. I don't know.
By the way,
Yeah.
Cooper put a comment. I completely agree. Light blue monopolies are my favorite ones. $50 a house, and then you can just like get all your houses covered for your expensive ones. Like that's definitely what's up. That's the move.
Yeah. So, light blues and Monopoly feeds families. I like that.
Yeah.
It's cool.
I didn't even see that, but I do see his comment saying he used to be great at Yahtzee till he met his wife, and that's like kind of the joke about it's literally just rolling the die. But like, dude, I was like looking through old scores, and my mom was just killing in every single game, and it's like there's literally no way that you could actually do that. That's like the biggest like. That's like the funny part about Yahtzee. You're literally just rolling the die. There's a tiny bit of decisions you can make about what to cross off, but like, there's no way to roll a Yahtzee better than anyone else. So it's just like, I don't know. People are just better at rolling the die apparently.
It's weird.
Or just seeing Jane plays. But by the way, Randy, if you're watching, we'll just hear. But if not, Dan will message you. I think what happened was Randy's was one of those ones where it was like a little more complicated. And we had so many that we were like, we're just gonna do it justice by like we can't do it justice on this one. Like we've already been going so long, so like we'll just go on the next one and like be able to actually cover it there.
Yeah. Wait. Let me pull up my DM with Randy. Maybe I can refresh my memory here. But yeah, it was the. Oh no, you know what the reason was? Is because he made it back in October, so I just kind of felt like it was like too long ago. And then I was gonna pull one of your more like recent trades from like King of the Hill. But then we were just kind of like scrambling to start the live stream, and we just kind of ran out of time. So my apologies for that. But yeah, definitely I will hit you up next time we do one of these trade shows. And we will definitely cover one of your trades. Heck, maybe we'll even do two of them. We'll make it up to you. So my sincere apologies for that.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I wanted to address that, and then also Cooper's been in here and you hinted at Bob joining, but Cooper Hawkeyes. I'm eager to talk to him. We haven't really had a chance to like talk to Jacob because like we just joined a league in him, and I've really enjoyed this. So like. I can only imagine, what we would like. You imagine like if you were on here with like Andrew or just like a guy you've played with for like over a year. Like I'm pretty eager to also talk to Hawkeyes and.
Oh yeah, no doubt. In fact, like I mean, you can probably tell by now, but like we definitely have been enjoying like having guests on. We had Joshy on the other day, like that was super fun. This stream was awesome with Jacob here. So yeah, we're definitely open and interested in having like more guests on just from like all our various leagues. So if you're in one of our leagues and you're watching this and you're interested in coming on a live stream one of these days, like hit up me or Blake and let us know. We'd love to get you on here sometime. And so it's just been super fun, like connecting with all our league mates and we definitely have some fun guests lined up already. So we won't reveal everything, but definitely stay tuned. Like, you'll definitely get a look at, kind of the man behind the mask with all these, different league mates. So I think that'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, I guess we can wrap it up there because I feel like the three of us we can just keep going for like hours
all night, I'm sure. So I think we'll call it there. But yeah, thank you everyone to everyone who submitted trades. We so appreciate it, and it was great seeing so many people in the chat. I think we had like up to like 13 or so at one point, and so love seeing you guys here and in the live chat and everything. So just been so awesome. Like thank you all for the support. Definitely subscribe on your way out if you haven't already. Really helps the channel grow a lot. So we so appreciate that. You can also hit the bell if you want to be notified anytime we go live. Like the video, and I think that covers everything. Jacob, thank you again. It's so great having you here.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I'm a huge nerd, like I said, so I always like talking ball. So if you ever need someone again and I'm free, like I'll totally do it. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, heck yeah, man. We'll definitely have you back sometime. and we will see you all on the next live stream.
Yeah, no doubt we'll have Jacob back, and also like I'm excited because the numbers will definitely get you back something related to like rookie draft before.
Oh yeah,
like
sure.
we got you back for rookie draft pre NFL draft or like pre NFL rookie drafts or whatever. So
yeah, we gotta pick his brain so we can snipe him in the break room.
Yeah, that's right. We need some more info. So
more selfish, self-serving purposes.
Come on, we know why you took that 107 or 108, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Although I guess it wasn't for Warren, so
It might be. Andrew might just be like, it's for Warren. And I'll be all right.
It's 100% for Warren with Andrew. I mean,
so kind of the perils of your thoughts on YouTube. You're definitely more likely to be sniped, but hey, it's worth it. We have so much fun on these live streams. So I think that wraps it up.
Yep.